Wow. And so you would pick Adam over Dennis, Rob, and David. Interesting.
In this little universe that you and I live in right now, where I'm not married and none of those four people are married, yes, I'm going with Adam.
Well, and thank you for not saying, well, of course it would have to be my husband. I appreciate that you went outside the box on this one. Do I date myself by admitting that I saw you doing that show? Is that like a whole generation ago in some ways?
Well, it kind of actually makes you younger, because most of the people that recognize me from that show are 10 years my junior. It was, people like somewhere near their college-aged years who are the biggest fans of it. So sometimes I don't want to even date myself by saying, yeah, that was me, because I was clearly older than you if you were watching it.
Well, trust me, I'm older than you now, so but I'll just take that for what it's worth. Now, you often play roles, I think, that many actresses of your generation would probably kill for. And I wondered, what do casting agents see in you that they don't see in other women?
Huh. If only I knew, I'd replicate it on all the jobs that I don't get that I really want. But I have to admit that a lot of the times I pick the scripts because I've liked the all-male cast, and I like the adrenaline junkie characters, and boys are really easy to get along with on set for 14 hours a day. So I have a tendency to lean towards them.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. I hadn't really considered that, but most of these shows have been very male-driven, and not a lot of other women. I mean, so when you're on screen, you're the woman.
Exactly.
Yeah, the girl. Sorry.
Right. Well, no, the woman. You're right. I just meant like I garner all that attention. It's true. It's an easy place to make sure you'll be noticed.
Is it easier to do these characters that have this kind of wild streak? Now, Numbers being the exception there, I think, but.
Yeah, but even on Numbers, she still carried a gun. I had to learn how to use a machine gun. I had to, she had a PhD and she wore Prada a lot of the time, but she was sort of a cowboy for what she was doing as a psychiatrist. Mm-hmm. So all of them are really fun, and they're much easier to play than a suburban housewife. It's much harder to make drama out of nothing.
I can see that. I don't see you doing like Sophie's Choice. I don't mean to.
Well, we could only hope. Sophie's Choice is actually interesting because I saw it much later than when it came out, and Peter McNichol's performance in it is the reason why I asked the producers on Numbers if Peter McNichol could be my love interest.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, and did you know Peter before then?
I didn't know Peter beforehand, and when I came on the show, they had, I think, a design really to make me David Krumholtz's love interest, and probably a triangle between Navi's character and David's, and how that was going to play out. And I went in and asked for Peter McNichol because he was so terrific in that movie and pretty much everything else he's ever done that I thought he would just make me a better actor.
And he certainly demonstrated a knack for eccentricity on Ally McBeal ahead of that. So we certainly knew, you certainly know what you're getting into there.
Yes.
Now, so I asked you that, but I'm also thinking, from what I understand, and this is the first time we've ever spoken, so if I have this wrong, you just tell me. But from what I understand, you left Rescue Me, and I think Numbers, for what I understood to be family reasons, and I wondered if a willingness to choose family over career at this point in your career would make producers a little more hesitant to cast you in long-term projects.
Interesting questions. I did leave both of them mostly for family reasons. I left Rescue Me to further pursue my relationship with my husband here in Los Angeles because that shot in New York. And after two series with Dennis over 5 years, I thought I might be single forever if I kept moving every time I went on a good date to another city. And then at the third year of Numbers, I was pregnant with twins, and a 1-hour procedural never the ideal job when you have 3 kids under 2 years old.
Yeah.
A lot of hours for 10 months out of the year. So I would think some of it may come down to how you leave a show. I gave everybody a lot of notice, and I gave them reasons that weren't like, I don't like the size of my trailer. So no one was particularly upset with any of that or felt like I had quit the cult for reasons outside of the bylines. And sadly, if you look at how hard my life is now with 3 kids who are still under 3 years old, I won't be having any more soon.
Oh, any more kids or any more jobs?
Probably both, but any more kids for sure. So I think I'm running out of reasons to quit shows based on family needs.
Got it. Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting what you mentioned about the way that you left the shows. You never suffered the slings and arrows as, let's say, someone leaving, Grey's Anatomy recently did. It was announced early on that you were going to depart. You had the family situation, and it was a nice, clean break as those things go.
Yeah, which I think everybody has to work hard on because everybody has feelings involved when you invest that much time into something.
Were you sorry to see Numbers come to an end? Or the series itself?
Yeah, I guess I probably had mixed feelings. Every job, even as an actor, I think after a certain point has the same feeling that every other kind of job has. You're like, okay, I'm ready to try something new. For myself, after 3 years of playing that character, I was ready to try something new. And I know some of those boys and a couple of one of the girls had been doing it for 6 years. So
yeah.
As bad as they were, I know they were ready to try other things too. But it's sort of like an end of an era in my career. So I did.
Oh, it was nice that Rob Morrow made it all the way through a series without being fussy. Remembering Northern Exposure, that was kind of ugly. Well, I want to come back and talk to you in a minute about Acme Comedy, talk to you about Denis Leary, and, of course, David Duchovny and Californication. But let's take a quick break. This is Bob Andelman, and you're listening to the Mr. Media radio interview with actress Diane Farr, who, of course, you'll recognize from Rescue Me, Numbers, Californication, and, of course, Dr. Drew. We'll be right back.